What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So Galio, this is the League of Legends champion I'm going to be reacting and reviewing today. I think he's actually the final champion from Demacia. It's been a bit of a journey guys, we're finally here. I've gone through every single Demacian champion apart from Galio. So this is what I'm going to do today. So what am I going to start with? I'm going to start off with his bio, then I'm going to go through and review his skins. He has 2 login themes to do, so I'll do them. He's got some special interactions. I'll also go through his story and finish off with his spotlight. I'll timestamp the whole thing as I always do. You know the drill. You know the drill now. So without further ado, let's go. So Galio the Colossus. In fact, let me go back up there. I think we might get a little bit more details of this picture when we go through his skins, but what a great image. What a beast. Look at the size of him as well in comparison to these houses down here. Why I like it is, clearly these are Noxans that have come to invade Demacia, and the guys just obviously just flown through the clouds at some decent speed. How can I tell? Because you can still see the shape of the cloud that he's made through it. He's landed on the ground here, boom, and you can see the trees in the background flying over and the birds flying away. So yeah, it just exudes power. Anyways, let's move on. Galio the Colossus. Right, Galio's legend begins in the aftermath of the Rune Wars, when countless refugees fled from the destructive power of magic. In the west of Valorant, a band of these displaced people were hounded by a vicious band of dark mages. And we know Galio likes some mages. He likes mages, let's put it that way. Exhausted from days without rest, the refugees hid among the shadows of an ancient petrified forest, and their pursuers suddenly found their magic to be ineffective. It seemed the fossilized trees were a natural magic dampener. Oh. Huh. What do you know? And any sorcerer used within them would simply fail. Oh snap. No longer helpless, the refugees turned their swords on the dark mages and drove them from the land. The tables have been turned. Some decided that the sanctuary from magic was a gift from the gods. Others saw it as a fair reward for their terrible journey, but all agreed this should be their new home. So maybe that actually is the birthplace of Demacia, I'm presuming. Anyways, we shall find out. As years passed, the settlers crafted items of protection from the enhanced wood. Eventually they found it could be mixed with ash and lime, there you go, to make petricite, a material with a powerful resistance to magic, which we know about from Demacia. It would be the foundation for their new civilization, forming the walls of the new kingdom of Demacia. Right, nice intro to how Demacia was formed. For years, these petricite barriers, I think it's petricite barriers, were all the Demacians needed to feel secure from the threat of magic within the borders of their homeland. In the rare event that they needed to settle a conflict abroad, their military proved fierce and formidable. But when the enemies employed sorcery, Demacia's roaming armies had little recourse. Somehow they needed to take the sanctuary of their magic dampening walls into battle. How are you going to do it? I.e. make Galio, which you kind of found out a little bit about in the Silas comics, no, the Lux comics, featuring Silas. The sculptor Durand, which Silas found about in the works that Lux gave him from the library, was commissioned to fashion some manner of persitite shield for the military, and 2 years later the artist unveiled his masterpiece. Forget a shield, I'm making this. While it was not what many were expecting, the winged statue Galio would become vital to the defence of the nation and serve as a symbol of Demacia across Valorant. However, I jumped to paragraph there. Using a system of pulleys, steel sledges and countless oxen, they would pull this great stone figure into the battlefield. Many would be invaders simply froze at the sight of an awe-inspiring silhouette looming before them. The Titan who ate magic, inspired a kingdom and terrified those who opposed it. However, no one thought to consider what exposing the statue to such unpredictable energies might do. Demacia had been mired in battle with enemy forces in the Greenfang Mountains. A skilled order of war mages known for their arcane fist bombarded the Demacians with crackling bolts of raw mystic power for 13 days. Yes, 13 days. Those who had survived this long felt their morale dwindling, really, and huddled close to Galio. Just when the spirits could be brought to no longer, a slow, deafening rumble shook the veil, and if two mountains were grinding against each other, that was something entirely different. As a great shadow grew above them, the Demacian soldiers steeled themselves for death. A deep voice bellowed from above. To the Demacians' astonishment, the sound came from the Colossus at their backs. Galio was moving and speaking entirely on his own. Somehow the accumulation of absorbed magic had given him life. He threw himself in front of the Demacians, shielding them from attack after attack, absorbing each fresh bolt into his massive stone frame. Then Galio turned, bound up the mountainside, and crushed every last one of the arcing fist into the craggy soil. What a sight. The Demacians cheered. Makes sense. They were eager to thank the Persitite sentinel that had saved them, but as quickly as he'd become to life, their fearsome protector had ceased moving, returning to his pedestal just as before. Back in the great city, this bizarre tale was told in hushed tones by the few who had survived the Battle of the Green Fangs, and was usually received with silent incredulity. That day passed into legend, perhaps a mere allegory of ancient days to help people through hard times. Yeah. So I'll touch on this part here once we get to the end of the bio. Certainly, no one would have believed that the Colossus continued to see all this transpire around him. Even while immobile, Galio retained consciousness, longing to experience the sensations of battle once again. He watched mortals pass beneath him, which we found out in the story from Lux, which was a really good one, paying him tribute year after year. It puzzled him to see their despair one by one as time rolled on. Galio wondered where they went, when they vanished. Perhaps they were sent away to be mended, or as he often was when he returned from war. As the years slipped by, Galio began to realise the sorrowful answer to his question. Unlike him, the people of Demacia could not be repaired, or have their damage easily repaired. Mortals were frail, inferior creatures, and he now understood just how badly they needed his protection. Fighting had been his passion, but the people were now his purpose. Even so, Galio had been called to battle only a handful of times in all of the centuries since. Demacia had begun to look inward, with magic becoming rarer in this world than it once was, and so the Persitite Colossus remains dormant, observing the world through the murk of his awakening dreams. The statue's greatest hope is that to be blessed by a magic so powerful that he will never be forged to sleep again, which hopefully is Lux. Only then will Galio be able to truly serve his purpose, to stand and fight as Demacia's protector forevermore. Right. Okay, that was really good actual introduction to Galio. What I like about it as well is it's kind of ironic that, well, in fact, no, before I even get to that, I like it talked in the first two paragraphs about how Demacia was formed. Since the very beginning, they've been chased by mages and pursued and persecuted. And I didn't realise that it was this forest that annulled the powers of the mages, which then became their home, and also the trees we used to make this Persitite that is used to annul. Is that right, the word? Annul magic as well. So that was interesting. But also, I find it ironic that the thing that defends them, Galio, is magic. It absorbs magic from other people to come to life and obviously destroy them and protect the Demacians. But it's magic by nature. So they hate magic, but it's magic that protects them, which I find, yeah, an interesting dynamic, let's just say that. Anyways, enough rumbling. Let's move on to the skins. Right, so the Colossus Gallius. Roll tank, that's kind of obvious when you compare him to everyone else. Now, another little interesting feature I saw, in fact, no, I'm not even going to go into more detail about this because this is clearly his base skin, so I'll do that when I get to the skins. Roll tank, obvious, difficulty moderate. So we'll jump over the abilities and go straight to the skins. Now, this one here. Nope. This one here, well, do you know what I like about this? In fact, give me a second, I'm going to pull up a clearer image. Right, okay, this is probably a better image. What I like about this is, not all like I mentioned before, that he's flown in. You can see he's flown, the power in which he's flown in here, because he's made this, obviously, this shape in the clouds because of his speed, and he's landed like, with some decent force there. And these Noxians are clearly running away. What I also like about it is what he represents to the Demacians, and you can see these 3 Demacians here, they're all cheering at his arrival. So I like that. I like the contrast. You've got the dark, you've got the light, you've got the Noxans in red with invaders, and you've got the Demacians on the left in blue. And he's in the middle. And the shot is perfect in a way. You've got light on one side of him and dark on the other. So the Demacians will see the light side of him on his back and this side here on his right. And the Noxans will see the opposite. They will see the dark on his chest and the dark on his left. Like it. Really like it. So that is the first skin. Let's move on to the next one, which I think is this one. So in fact, let me go back to, hold on, let me go back to here. So Enchanted Galio. So we have here Enchanted Galio. Nice. So let me go into here now and have a look, just to pull up some more detail. Yeah, so you think the other one before's got some size. I mean, yeah, the guy's big. The guy is big. And this is Enchanted Galio. I like he got the moss on there as well, like he's been sleeping and now he's awoken. Okay, this one here. So there's a theme going on here in the Commando. This is the Galio Commando skin. There's a Commando skin with almost every single Demacian champ. And Galio is the next one. That looks so cool though. Yeah, that looks... As opposed to the other ones, that one works for me. That one works. The other ones, it's just like a typical Commando. They just slapped it on the champion. I feel like with this one, I thought about it a little bit more. I like that. So, what is the next one? The next one is Gatekeeper. Yeah, looking like a little bit of a beast there, isn't it? Looking like, yeah, someone from... I would say someone from the Freyard, but it doesn't. It looks more like Hades, actually. In fact, that's maybe what it represents, thinking about it now. You've got these demons here. This maybe looks like maybe hell. You've got the people in their souls, and he's absorbing their souls. So, yeah, kind of maybe more like Mordekaiser in a way, even though it doesn't look like Mordekaiser there. This here looks a little bit like the them demons that Yorick uses, don't know, from the graves. But no, I like that one. That's nice. So the next one is Debonar. Debonar, is it? Debonar. Debonar skin. I don't know why I said Debonar. Debonar skin. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Look a little bit like Beauty and the Beast there. Yeah, Beauty and the Beast. If the Beast was a metal beast. Anyways, yeah, rocking the tux with the rose. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah. What more can I say? If I was guessing at what region he would be from, though, I'd put him in Piltover or Zan. That's where I put him. Piltover, I think. The next one is what? Birdo skin. Okay. Birdo skin. Right. Do you know what I like about this as well? He's got the bird skin on, or the bird costume on, but the guy's so big, it doesn't even fully cover him. He's got it on, he's got gloves that aren't really fitting. He's got it on it. He's not really fitting in there as well. And you know the scary thing, the horrible thing really is, if you think about it, he's dressed up as a bird while eating the birds. You know, he's got a bucket of chicken legs, thighs. He's got the KFC here while repping the chicken. So he's eating the skin while wearing the skin. Yeah, and I don't know who this lady is here or here or here. I don't know. Okay, so on to the next one. Infernal. Right, so we saw with Infernal, I'm sure we saw one for Nasus. Oh, and Shen. So, okay, so this is Galio, this is Shen, and this is... is it Varus? Maybe, yeah, I think it's... Yeah, I think that's Varus. I'm going to go Varus, Galio, and Shen. That's nice as well. Okay, so let me see. I think that might be it. Is that it? That is it. That is all of them. So let me go back to the top. Do you know what? I really like his base skin. And before I get into my favourite skin, my favourite base skin is this one. Galio's standard skin or base skin is my favourite one for all Demacian champions so far. Well, all Demacian champions, because this is the final one to review. Yeah, so he takes the crown for my favourite base skin for Demacia, which is my favourite additional skin. So, oh, we got Hextech. Where's that on here then? Don't do me like that. Why are you sneaky? Oh, looking a bit like Blitzcrank. So, yeah, that's interesting as well. I like that. I like that one. Yeah, that's really cool. And what's this? So we've got more. We've got Dragon Guardian. Oh, okay. Wow, we got Dragon gets it. I almost picked my favourite skin without choosing. Looking at these two. Wow. So who is this? This is Kale. Or is it Morgana? No, it's Kale. This is Kale. And this is Galio. Wow, what a shot. What I like about that one as well is it's the first image of Galio where he isn't really front and centre. There's an argument to say that Kale, if this is Kale, takes a more prominent position in the picture. That's interesting. But I like that one as well. I like that one. I think that's all of them. It's not even on here though. So we've seen all these. That is interesting. So is that an official skin? Is that an official? It's got to be on it. Dragon Guardian. I think it is. But it's not on the actual official website. So because it's not on the official website, I'm not gonna. I don't know what else is going on. What's going on here? No, that's not Galio. Yeah. Okay. Upcoming. Right, it's upcoming, so I'm not gonna put that in the mix. So if I choose my favourite one, yeah, this is my favourite base skin. My favourite one would have to be Gatekeeper. Yeah, it would be Gatekeeper. Yeah. Bedio is really good, but yeah, Gatekeeper would be my favourite. Second place would be Commando. That looks really good. And then third place would probably be. I'm not getting enough of him in here though. Infernal Galio, there's not enough there for me. So it would be Gatekeeper, Commando, and let's have a look at Hextech. Yeah, Hextech. Hextech will be third. So they'll be my top three, with my favourite one being Gatekeeper. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to his first login theme. Let's go. So there's two login themes like I mentioned before. There's the official one and there's the Gatekeeper one. Now I was going to do the official one, but since I've chosen Gatekeeper as my favourite skin, it's got to be done. I've got to do the Gatekeeper Galio login theme first. 1 minute 30 seconds. Let's go. In fact, ominous. Huh. Okay. To the end. Wow. That is the end of that. That was nice, considering it's 1 minute 30 seconds long. That was decent. So the first thing I want to say is he looks slightly different here to what we've reviewed in the skins, but it's definitely the same guy, Gatekeeper Galio. Animation is nice. I like the glow you're getting from whatever this thing is here. His eyes. The overall look for me is very reminiscent of, or it reminds me of World of Warcraft. You know, Gul'dan with kind of like this gate here that's green with the souls, I'm presuming, and he looks a little bit like, he doesn't look like him, but he's giving me the vibes of Illidan as well. So I like that. The animation's nice. I like how the wind's blowing across him and the water's actually, you can see the water rippling off his body. Two other things. The first one, the intro's nice. Check this. The like vocals in a minute. This here, that kind of like hum. It's not a hum, it's like a chant. That chant I like. And then right at the end, it fades out all the music. And all you're left with is just the rain. Oh, and the thunder and lightning. Tight. Yeah, for such a short login theme, that was decent. That was pretty decent. So let's move now on to the story. So, war was coming and Galio could do nothing but watch as the Demacian soldiers prepared for it. He couldn't say how long it had been since he last tasted magic. He'd been carried from the plinth many times before, only to return without getting a chance at life. But even when his body was still, his mind was always stirring, and it longed for fight. For fight. Galio could just make out the bristling rows of northern barbarians in the distance. Even with his senses dulled in the dreamlike state, he could tell their ranks were sloppy and undisciplined. Pacing to and fro in eager anticipation of their Demacian foes, Galio had overheard talk of the wild men many times, given their recent conquests. The fearful people of the city whispered that the Freordians left none alive and mounted the heads of their foes on enormous tusks from strange beasts. I've read this one already. I might have read this one. I'm sure I've read one similar. Hold on. Yeah, I've read this. Yeah, I've read this one already. This is really good though. Let me get to the bottom. He doesn't lives, but he didn't understand why he had no more magic of his own. No. Yeah, this is good, this one actually though. So this is one where he basically drops down into the fight. They bring this massive beast out there. Let me find it. There's some huge beast here. Will it work if I select beast? Let's see. Yeah, they are not excited to battle this great beast. I will do it for them. So yeah, it fights this enormous beast. It would surely cut right through the Demacian armaments. Yeah, Demacian armaments. So the Noxus being this massive beast, he fights it, he wrecks it. It runs away limping. Galio's disappointed that it wasn't a better fight. It was too easy for him. But what I like about it is this right at the end. Let me read the last paragraph. Sorry about this, guys. I've already read this one. But it says here, he didn't understand why he had no magic of his own, like all living things must have. Why had he been made this way? Had that even been his creator's intention? As he felt the cold embrace of his dormancy returning, he took comfort that life itself was magical, and if Galio only experienced it briefly, it was worth it. Until the final day, until he would come to break the world's last mage in his unyielding fists, and the stunned sentinel of Demacia would awaken no more. So it talks about, yeah, that he does his thing, he destroys them, they all run away fleeing, but then once again he starts to go back into the streamlike state. We tie this in nicely with the story from Lux and Galio. And like I mentioned at the beginning, what I really like about it is that he's been built for war. That's all he's known, that's all he does. But his experiences with Lux show him another side of life, in essence. He can actually be alive and not have to destroy things and not have to go back to being this stone statue again, even though he's obviously ready just to do that. Yeah, so that was the quickest story I've read because I've already read it. When did I read that though? I must have read that for Lux. So did I? I must have read Lux's. Let me find it here though. Hold on. So, A Hero Wakes. I must have already read that one. Flesh and Stone. That's the one I read for Lux as well. So yeah, if you wanna read through with me this one, A Hero Awakes, not the condensed version like I've just done. Check that out. I think that might be in Lux Part 2. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to the second login theme and then the spotlight. Let's go. Woo! I knew it. Reload. I've got to reload that one more time at least. Come on. At the end, there's something I want to point out with that animation. Right, onto the music. Okay, that was nice. That was nice. So, the first thing I want to say about that is, a lot going on. Quite busy login theme. It sounded like there was at least 2 different styles in there going on. Not at once, but going on back and forth between the 2. Sometimes with... Anyway, forget that. It was okay. I give it that. What I was smiling at though is... Let me go back a little bit more and turn the sound off. There's a guy in the bottom corner here. The guy in the bottom left hand corner. Turn the sound off. He's just waving. Like, whoop. Easy. He's just waving like that. And what's funny is, at first I thought, oh, he's waving at Galio. No, he's not waving at Galio. He's basically waving at the Nox, the skies that are running off. Because you'll see right at the beginning, the Noxans were here. There you go. They were here. And then, now they're not. So I thought that often found that really funny. The actual skin itself is amazing. I like that. The animation is wicked. I like as well that in the wake of the actual creator he creates, there's water trickling into it. You can see this here, can't you? There's water flowing into it. I like how the stones are falling off him because obviously of his size. But the most important bit is this here. Let me get to this. Put the sound back on. Why isn't that sound? There you go. So. Right, why that's epic is because he lands, boom, and then there's a shockwave that actually you see pass through, in essence, the camera about a second afterwards, but it's delayed. Yeah, check this. Yeah. That is so good. That itself is better than the login theme. But the login theme's alright. I'll give you that. The login theme's alright. But if I was picking one of the two, the other one, Gatekeeper, Galio, that's for me, the better login theme. So, yeah, what I need to do now, I need to finish off with the Spotlight. So, let's finish off Galio Spotlight.
Welcome to the League of Legends Champion Spotlight, featuring Galio, the Colossus.
Beast.
Battle, yes.
Here we go. Woo! Drop bombs. Okay, Sam. Let's go.
Let's do this then.
Galio's passive is Colossal Smash. His next basic attack deals bonus damage in an area, scaling with his magic resist. Colossal Smash's cooldown is reduced whenever Galio hits enemy champions with his abilities.
Right, okay.
Galio's Q is Winds of War. He fires 2 gusts of wind in converging arcs that damage all enemies hit. When the blasts converge, they form a vortex for a few seconds that continuously deals damage in a small area. When combined with his passive, Winds of War lets Galio shred minion waves in seconds. Just make sure your positioning is solid. Line up the wind to hit both the front and back line. Galio's W is Shield of Durand, and it does a few things. First, it passively grants Galio a magic damage shield that refreshes if he avoids taking damage for a moderate period. Second, activating Shield of Durand causes Galio to enter a defensive stance for a short period of time. As long as the key is held down, he gains damage reduction and moves slowly. When the W key is ultimately released, Galio taunts all nearby enemy champions. Range and duration extend based on how long the stance was held. While Galio's charging Shield of Durand, the channel cannot be interrupted by crowd control, though Galio himself is still affected. There's no better way to start a fight than a flash taunt. Here, Galio preps Shield of Durand and moves in, using his defensive stance to weather damage from Varus and Ahri. With the taunt fully charged, he flashes in for a brief but brutal skirmish. Rock solid.
Okay.
Galio's E is Justice Punch. When activated,
that
Galio jumps back,
is
winding up for a big ol' punch. After a brief
punch.
delay, he lunges forward, knocking up and damaging the first and only the first enemy champion hit. Galio cannot punch his way over walls.
No.
He can flash them.
Yeah.
Justice Punch is great for starting fights.
What a name.
Galio will run into trouble if he's trying to punch his way out of a brawl. Here, Shyvana steps in front of the big fella while he winds up, blocking his dash so Caitlyn can serve up a little justice of her own.
Uh-oh.
Galio's ultimate is Hero's Entrance. Galio chooses an ally to save, granting them Shield of Durand's damage reduction and flying to their current location, knocking out and damaging all enemies in the area when he lands.
That's mad.
The knockup lasts longer for those in the center of the landing zone. Galio flies specifically to the spot the ally was when he activated the ability. It does not follow them. This ability can only be interrupted by crowd control before Galio takes to the air. Afterward, he's immune.
Okay.
Hero's Entrance's damage reduction kicks in the moment Galio casts it. Use it to give your buddies a little extra oomph when they're diving for the big play. 5 bots.
This guy's a bit of a bruiser, isn't it? Okay.
Properly fighting as Galio requires you order your abilities correctly. Justice Punch closes the gap for the first use of Colossal Smash. Shield of Durand sets up for an unmissable Winds of War. By landing your abilities, Colossal Smash should be back up for your final bit of damage. When his lane's pushed, Galio's free to roam within a stone's throw of bot lane. Even though Caitlyn can see the indicator, Zyra's root holds her down for Galio's big entrance. The knockup allows for an easy chaining of Shield Durand into Winds of War, which wins the war.
Going somewhere.
Oh,
Too
got him.
easy.
Hero's entrance can get buddies out of tight spots, but only if he gets the timing right. With Vayne already
too
inches
late.
from death, Galio is unable to save her. And since the landing zone is based on where his ally was, he finds himself surrounded by big, scary-looking dudes. And also Ezreal. If he had made a hero's entrance beside Nami, potentially he could have achieved a different outcome. When you're a tanky warden, you can stroll straight into a battle. Garen's silence cannot stop Galio from catching his foes with a massive taunt via Shield of Durand. When Braum gets low, Galio busts out his own ultimate in the middle of the fight to show Garen his own special brand of Demacian justice. After Justice punched and closed the gap, Galio caps the fight with 2 final kills thanks to an empowered Shield of Durand plus
Jack's doing
Flash to catch Ezreal and Thresh.
Okay, back in, nice. Okay.
Thanks for watching the Galio Champion Spotlight. Learn more about Demacia's Colossus by clicking the links below.
There you go. Gonna take it out.
Well, hello there, handsome.
Just tanks the tower there. So yeah, that was good. That was a good ending to my review of Galio. Seems like he can deal some damage as well. A tank that's mobile and can deal some serious damage. And you've got to love, what's it called? Justice Punch. Justice Punch, what a name. Yeah, I'm all for that. I am all for that. So yeah, I think I'll leave it here today, guys, on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed my thoughts and reactions to everything I've done in terms of the bio, the story, the 2 login themes, the skin, reviews, and also the spotlight. I was going to do the special interactions. In fact, no, I lied. I did the special interactions about 10-12 minutes long. Gave my thoughts on it, got to the end and realised I hadn't recorded. I hadn't pressed the record button, and I didn't/don't have the heart to do it again. So that's why that, unfortunately, isn't in this video. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed what was here. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.